I know you're
trying to do
crazy.
this shit.
Uh-huh.
Sagan can like toss knives up. I'm gonna have her teach me, but she can like toss them up and like they flip around like 3 times and she catches them again and shit. She just started out doing this shit, you know. I'm this in my left hand too.
You're crazy. No more of that without shoes on, dude. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's JD Temple here from the Light of the Darkness. Welcome to all new subscribers, and welcome back to all of our soul family members and channel members. Hey, and hail to all of you. Thank you for joining me here once again. Today's video has several different topics. I'm just going to kind of touch on some things as it's being presented to me. So I may jump around a little bit, so I'm sorry in advance if that happens. But I think you can all see that we are certainly getting closer and closer to what people call the apocalypse, which a lot of people, and myself included for the longest time, thought that meant the end of the world, the end of everything, like total destruction of this world and this earth, our home, on a grand scale, like absolute and total chaos and calamity. But I come to understand more and more that it's really not about that. It is an awakening to the truth, an awakening to the truth of our existence, and really a big reset, getting back to the core ways that we used to live, and being in harmony with the earth and being in harmony with nature instead of exploiting it. Because you can see, it's pretty damn obvious now that it's happening here in the United States and not in all of these other obscure places throughout the world, that as our technology is moving forward into the future, we see now more and more that there are different elements and different products of the earth that are going to be needed to be utilized in order to create these things, in order to create and sustain this technology. As we get away from fossil fuels, we're moving more into other elements like lithium, to create batteries to power all of these electrical gadgets that they want to introduce into our new world. Robots and everything that is going to be controlled by AI. And it really feels like to me that this whole grand idea that we're being presented, that AI is really going to be our saving grace and it was going to allow us to move into the future, it very well may be the thing that would destroy us. And I think that deep down inside of every single one of us, those of us that aren't NPCs, those of us that are actually biological humans through and through, with a spirit and a soul and all of those things attached. Because there are many people that are here just going through motions and that are actually not here with a true purpose. They're either here to support you or they're here to destroy what you're trying to do. And I think that the more you go out and in public, which I really do feel that somewhere around the time of COVID, there was something that did happen where if people weren't hijacked and replaced with some type of artificial intelligence, then they literally did just add a whole lot of people to the mix. Like, I wouldn't doubt that all of these refugees that have been coming into America the past few years, if they're not even actually real people at all, they're just people that they're adding, they're people that they're adding into the mix, into our society. And of course, like, they're trying to bring that down from within, because that's the way that you do anything successfully, is to bring it down from within without anyone even realizing what's going on and what's happening. And you can see it all over the world. It's been happening in South America. That continent has been being exploited for everything that it has, like for its gold. They're cutting down the rainforest so that they can have more land for cattle. They're probably mining lithium and other things there. If that exists there, I'm really not sure. But it's really kind of strange. You can see that, and I'm sure it's happening all across the United States. Like, home ownership is very, very difficult for you to even be able to acquire or buy a home anymore. Also, too, there's more and more apartment buildings going up. They're building tons and tons of apartments, because I can see that they are going to be pushing people into the city. They're going to be pushing people to live in large groups and masses, because all of that untouched land that's all over this North American continent, they're going to start exploiting it. They're going to start mining. They're going to start taking over land, pushing people off their property. You've already seen it in Hawaii and Lahaina. You've seen it through Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. And all of these storms certainly are controlled by weather manipulation, by HAARP. Through that frequency and vibration, they're able to steer these things. Like, none of this stuff is happening by coincidence. If your eyes are open, then you can see the truth. You can see what is happening in this world. They're going to try to make it harder and harder for us to exist. So just know that, like, you are on your own. I don't think that there really are any governments anymore that really care, truly care, and will be there when you need them. They all have one thing that they're concentrating on, and that's power and domination and the securing of resources. And yes, they are all in it together. Every single government, there's already a new world order. There's already a one world government. And so no one is safe. We are all subject to whatever those ultimate powers that be, those elites, we're all subject to their tyranny. We all think it's all still divided up, and there's all different countries and different leaders and different governments and different intentions, but you can already see what's happening. Everyone is doing the same types of things, from digital currency to the rump. Like, they're all in it. They're all part of it. While in some areas, in some countries, you do have different freedoms and different liberties than you may have in other places, all of that eventually will change too. We're all going to be subject to the same rules, the same laws. Most likely it's going to be governed by some extraterrestrial alien, or there is an ultimate AI that has already been in power. Because remember, like, the technology that we know about is at least 10 or 20 years or the technology that the governments have are 10 and 20 years ahead of what we have, maybe even up to 100 years, which I kind of doubt that, but at least 10 to 20 years ahead of us. So, like, what they're capable of doing already now would absolutely blow our minds if we understood it. There's going to be a lot of truths that will be coming out in the next 8 to 12 months that are absolutely going to blow your mind. There's going to be some things that, like, a lot of people just will not even be able to handle and wrap their heads around. It's going to be that far-fetched, so expect that. Other things that I would come to expect, like, watch what's happening in China, the little bit of things that we are able to glean from over there, from that far east, the ways that they're living, the ways that they're being treated. Like, expect the Big Brother cameras everywhere to be tracked and monitored everywhere you go, every move you make, which is already happening through your cell phone, through your Alexas, and probably even through your smart televisions. They're watching you. They're listening. They know all about you. They know what they're doing. And the time will come when you will be held responsible for everything that is on that device of yours. They will come, and they're going to round you up, and they're going to go back 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years. So they already know that everyone is guilty of something, whether it's a little something or a big something. And that will give them the reasoning and the probable cause to detain and lock people away for whatever reasons that they see fit. And that's a scary world to live in, but that is a good possibility, probability, really. Other things that a lot of people have not thought about, I know a lot of you have, people that saw that movie Leave the World Behind, like power outages and brownouts. That is going to become a regular part of our everyday life, where we're probably only going to have power for like 6 hours a day, then they're going to shut it off for 12. It might pop on for another 2. All of that is going to be just yet another mechanism of control over us, because could they give us the power that we need? Yeah, absolutely. But there's going to be reasons, there's going to be excuses as to why. There's probably going to be shortages on clean drinking water. There's even going to be restrictions on where you can travel and when. Think about like the districts in the Hunger Games. Yeah, it's going to be a lot like that. Everything is moving towards that as we are heading in closer and closer to World War III, which has already begun. Crazy things are happening, and there's a lot of things that we don't know about. We are going to see things begin to unfold to where most of us, when I say like citizens, and it's not just in North America, all throughout Europe and probably all over the world, they are going to be doing things to scare us so much, and to the point to where we will certainly give up certain liberties for our safety. So we're going to be giving up certain elements of our freedom just so that we can feel like we're safe. But it's all about corralling us closer and closer and closer together, and putting us in like a big fishbowl in the city, cramming us in there, and then really like making it very hard for us to then leave out of that place. And of course, too, when you put that many people in a small little area, they know that you're going to be destroying each other too, doing their job for them, in essence. Like, a lot of this really is going to be thinning out the herd through deprivation, and thinning out the herd through the frustration that comes from that deprivation, just making everyday life that much more difficult. because we've spent several decades, even in the last 100 years, making our lives more convenient, making our lives more comfortable, making everyday life just a little bit easier for us. And in that same way, we've gotten lazy, we've gotten soft, we've gotten comfortable. And they know that. Pulling the plug now would be absolute control for them, because a lot of us just don't know what to do when that happens. We're not going to know what to do. Some people do. I know a little bit, but I'm no outdoorsman. I'm no skilled survivor. We're just not really going to have a choice in it. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. And when we really get down to it, it's going to really call for and require us to come together as a people and voice our opposition to these new things in ways that we have never before. And then you're going to have a group of people that are good and okay with these new changes. And they're going to embrace these new changes. And they're not going to like it if you're not going along with it. So yet again, you're going to be the black sheep. You're going to be the outcast. Of course, you're a left-hand path sorcerer or witch. So yeah, you don't go with the status quo anyway. You don't agree with the way this world is anyway. And you already know and see through the illusion. And to them, that makes you a dangerous person. It makes you a dangerous person. Free thinkers in the new world that they want to create is not a good thing. Free thinkers in our new world, in this golden age that we are all trying so desperately to bring in and embrace, that's a wonderful thing. So it's really coming down to that, like removing free thinkers, removing people that think that they have uniqueness and individuality. They want conformity. They want a flock of sheep. And you can see that, like, they've been using religion to carry out this agenda for thousands of years. And it's gotten to the point in this world where religion hasn't become enough. People are leaving the churches in droves. And so they know that, like, that control mechanism is thinning out. It's losing power. It's not as effective as it used to be. So here we come. Here we come. With all of this new shit that they're going to implement. Control that goes beyond religion. Control that goes beyond just you feeling shameful and guilty and thinking that you're going to spend an eternity in a hellish afterlife if you don't do what they tell you to do here and now. It's going to get crazier than that. They're striving for absolute control and domination. And yes, there are evil practitioners out there that are doing some pretty evil and gruesome things, especially with children and their blood. The whole adrenochrome thing, like, yeah, that shit's happening. There's things that are happening that is so sick and twisted, like I told you, that you would never believe that it is actually true in real life. It's going to seem like a science fiction novel or some crazy story that you heard. Like, no, a lot of this craziness, a lot of those thoughts, they've already been formulated on the astral plane, and now they're bringing it into our physical reality. And in that same way, we can create thought forms and philosophies in the astral plane that we can then implement and bring into this physical reality to combat it. Like, the only saving grace that any of us will have is our ability to cultivate our psychic senses and to bring back the latent abilities and powers that we have within us that we don't know about, to where we can levitate. We can levitate objects. We can move things with our mind. We can do all of this stuff. We used to be able to anyway. All of those powers, it's vital that we reawaken them, because that's going to be our only chance at combating the power of their technology, because that's what they're going to be using against us. And I know this sounds wild. It probably sounds like a far-fetched, again, a science fiction novel or some type of craziness. But you can see how far-fetched and crazy the world is getting. Project Bluebeam is about to be ushered into. And that goes back to Lucifer telling me, like, yes, we are in a day and age where you can't even believe your own eyes anymore. And that is dangerous. Being able to see through the illusion and to have that discernment is going to be more important now and moving into the future than it's ever been. Protect your kingdom, y'all. Protect yourself, the people that you love. Protect that consciousness and that mind of yours and this body of yours. People are always going to be working against you, using sorcery, using witchcraft. Especially the more prevalent you are in society, and people know what you're about and what you're doing, they're going to be trying to come after you. Sometimes it's just to see if they can. But there are people out there that literally despise and hate what you do, who you are, and what you're about. Even though most of them don't even understand it in any kind of way. But they just know that they hate it, and they are going to try to use their magic to take you down. So it's very important that you stay with it. Don't get too wrapped up in this false matrix world of just needing to be entertained by something all the time, needing to put something in here all of the time because you can't sit with your own thoughts. If you get wrapped up in that, you're not going to know what the fuck is going on. And that's what they want. That's what they want. You've got to take some time out, sit in silence, take some time away, sit in nature. If you're driving your car, don't turn the radio on. Use that time to connect with the spirits. Use that time to connect with your higher self so that you can get some clear messages, so that you can feel your aura, feel your energy, start to know when something is feeling off or something's feeling not right. Because once you get good enough at it, you'll know when someone's working against you. You will feel it when someone is trying to wrap you up in a unsavory energy or in a destructive energy. Those of you that have been cursed, those of you that have been through that, I've been through it so many fucking times, that people have gotten craftier. People have improved their skill sets to a degree that, like, it's stealthy as shit sometimes. And you won't know until it's totally got you in its grasp. So practice really good spiritual hygiene. Protect yourself. Wear protective amulets. Use sage and Palo Santo, Florida water, salt baths. Do some banishings if you need to. Do those things. But I'm going to run. I love you all. Smell my face. Smell it good. Thanks to all the channel members. Thanks to the Soul family. Love you guys. Stay safe out there. Protect yourself. See ya. Bye.
I did.
What are you doing? Just getting
Here,
prepared
somebody's
for
calling
today.
me. I love you.